You're not just any lady. You're an Iron Lady. You're watching Samir's Advent Calendar on the 11th of December. Never before has something divided the UK more so than this event. This was the year that Margaret Thatcher died. Margaret Thatcher was a British politician who was the Prime Minister of the UK from 1979 to 1990 and leader of the Conservatives. She was the longest-serving British Prime Minister of the 20th century and is the only woman ever to have held the position. A Soviet journalist once called her the Iron Lady, a nickname which has stuck ever since. Her leadership style became known as Thatcherism. But what was the view from the street?
She was a very unique individual, and as you all know, she was the first female Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. She is the woman behind the fall of the Soviet Union.
Well, okay, what do you think of Thatcher's policies?
Well, the movie was good. For a dead woman, she's still quite fit.
She privatized a lot of industries in the United Kingdom, which helped fund the bailout of the USSR to turn it back into a federalist state. And she was a pretty interesting individual.
She was known for dividing the nation. What side of the fence are you on?
I hope she learned her long division.
She was the Iron Lady, and she is the key individual to what's happened in the early 90s. And if it wasn't because of her, then we would probably still have the Soviet Union, or history would have taken a different course.
Thatcher in the ass. I love Britain. It's absolutely wonderful. I want to go there for my education.
Ding dong, no
She's the reason why the USSR fell. It wasn't because of Ronald Reagan, it was because of her.
I think Margaret Thatcher was a great woman. She's a role model.
And therefore she should be respected by having a substantial amount invested into her funeral.
She defied what all men believe.
Her various actions split up people into separate groups in terms of their perspective and their opinions towards her actions.
Now, for predominance, the way that she divided the nation in terms of whether they liked her or not, I think in a sense it will also divide opinion on whether or not it was predominant, because Margaret Thatcher was the first UK Prime Minister who was a female, so that's big in itself. However, her dying this year, it's had a lot of news coverage, but to a lot of people that perhaps aren't from Britain, are they familiar with this? So it's an interesting one, with no right answer. I reckon it was predominant. Unfortunately, not as predominant. I mean, you compare that with a personality like Nelson Mandela, and she's completely, off the board when you compare it with Nelson Mandela. But in her own right, Margaret Thatcher, she achieved a lot. Her death this year, tricky one. I'm going to say on the basis of worldwide awareness, I'm going to put it as predominant, or I'll put it mid-predominant, in between, mid-predominant and very predominant. It's an interesting one, I suppose. It really just depends, because there could just be one person that knows about it and that can change your view entirely. Anyway, we will see you tomorrow.